Hello, I'm Samantha Rund and welcome back to Beyond Technique Coaching. So for today's video, I want to talk about the number one thing that you can do to help yourself to have amazing headshots. If you're feeling nervous about your headshot session, if you're feeling overwhelmed or confused, this is definitely a video that you're going to want to watch. Even if you're not an actor, there's going to be a lot of tips in here. The number one thing you can do for yourself is to properly prepare. And the easiest way to do that is to ask better questions. Starting out, I didn't even know what questions to ask. I just thought I show up, I look nice, I smile or I don't smile, and I get my picture. It's that simple. If I had been properly prepared, I would have gotten the most bang for my buck. So there's three main categories in which to prepare. One is finding the right photographer for you. Two, picking out your wardrobe. And three, showing up and actually being ready on your shoot date. First, finding the right photographer for you. If you're an actor and you have an agent, yes, more than likely you're going to go to your agent to get that recommendation, but don't just get one. Ask for about 3 or however many of their favorites that they can give you. That way you can look them up, see whose photos really resonate with you, and better yet, get a chance to talk to the person. A lot of photographers, especially if they're more expensive and you're spending a lot of money on them, will offer consultations. So go in and meet with them, see how you feel, if you feel comfortable, and then also if you agree on a similar vision for how they would shoot you and where they would shoot. Some of it you're going to be able to see on their website, right? If they're shooting just indoors or also outdoors, but pay attention to the backdrops. You know, do you want somebody that has a lot of colorful options for you? Because if you do, and you go to somebody who just shoots with a white or a gray backdrop, you're not going to be able to get the shot that you want. So really pay attention to what it is that they specialize in and ask yourself, is this what you need in your portfolio right now? We know how much money we're willing or able to spend on headshots, but some things you may not have thought of. Hair and makeup. Are you doing it yourself? Are they doing it? Is it included in their price? Or do they have an assistant where you can pay extra? Is it somebody who shoots by the hour? Is it somebody who shoots by look? How many looks are in that budget? What does one look mean to them? Does it mean anytime you change your hair or change your shirt? Or a lot of different looks with a base layer? Our headshot isn't just a picture that looks good. Our headshot should instantly let them know who we are and where we are in the industry. They want to know where they can place us. So it's very important to wardrobe your why. Sounds a little bit silly, but I like to put it that way because it reminds us that the why is at the root of how you dress yourself. Again, ask yourself why you're getting the headshot. This is your first headshot, your main headshot, and you need it to express the roles that you would typically be cast in. That's where it's really important to get clear on who you are. Boy, I've always hated it when people say just be yourself, because as an actor, you know, we're trained to be so many different people. We're trained to feel like we could play anything. It can be really difficult for us to pinpoint exactly who we are in terms of how we come across. What I find to be a much better question is, what is the essence that you give off? Or what is your first impression? What do people think of you who don't know anything about you? Here are 3 of my favorite ways to answer those questions. One is an either or exercise. Pick some categories where people often fall on one line or the other, right? Are you more of a jock or a nerd? More of an introvert or an extrovert? Do you seem like somebody who goes to the library or to loud concerts? Are you warm? Are you cold? Do you talk fast? Do you talk slowly? What is the general vibe that you give off? The reason this is important is because that's where we're getting to that most marketable money-making shot. So if you only have one shot, you want that shot. Of course, asking your friends and family can be helpful, but I'd ask more people, you know, people who don't know you very well, acquaintances as well as best friends, you know, just ask around, get a lot of different opinions. You can ask your agent, of course, if you already have one, and just say, like, what kind of vibe do I give off? If I were in a TV show, what would you cast me in? The third thing is taking that a step further. So what are the commercials and characters on television and film that you identify with? How do they present themselves? What are they wearing? How's their hair? Make yourself a little worksheet, write it down. What are the wardrobe pieces that you need? What are the colors that are used? And are they generally comedies? Are they generally dramas? It'll give you an idea also too for the kind of lighting that you're looking for in your photography session, the kind of backdrop that you're looking for, because all of this needs to come together to say clearly and without confusion Who are you and what do you bring to the table? So now we're getting to the final step. And I have to admit, this is actually my favorite step. I'm always thinking about that connection of voice, body, and mind. And it's something that I think is often overlooked at the photo shoot because we spend a lot of time thinking about our photographer, we spend time thinking about our wardrobe, but how much time are you actually preparing to have that mindset that's going to help you and also to give yourself those sensory things that are going to help you be physically present so that you come across in your photo so that they can actually see who you are. Because what you want from your photo is you want it to evoke a feeling. You want them to have a reaction to it. And the best way to do that is to actually feel something, to actually be present so that they can see that there's a light in your eyes, so that they can identify with you, so they get a sense of your essence. So we're going to talk about that. Now, first though, I do want to point out a few mindset things. I think the most important thing to remember with your headshot session is while it is very important, you're always going to have another one. Just relax. It's a headshot session. It is not a marriage. A headshot is not intended to last forever, and it's not supposed to, right? It's going to last for a few years, maybe more, maybe less, depending on how your look changes, how many auditions it's getting for you, and if the industry standard has changed. So just know you're going to get at least one great shot from this session, and if you maximize your preparation, you're going to maximize the number of shots that you can use, and that will help open those opportunities for you. Now, if you're feeling nervous and insecure about going to your session because you don't really like taking pictures and you don't want the focus to be on any one of your flaws, it's time to get ahead of that. Reframe it so that your flaws aren't flaws, but they're assets. This is where you can use your acting skills, because maybe me telling you you have a great smile, or your freckles are amazing, or I love your dimples, or your hair is perfect and you're great the way that you are, maybe it's hard to hear. Maybe you just don't believe that yet. And you know, that's something to work on another time. But for your headshot session, if you can't get behind that, remember two main things. One, you're an actor. And two, real is better than perfect. You don't have to take a model headshot session. You just need to be real and present who you are, because the camera's going to see it anyway. And if you're holding back and you're nervous about it, they're going to feel that instead of feeling what it is that you have to offer. The other thing is you can give yourself a character that loves that thing. Maybe you are nervous about your smile, but you know what? Your character isn't. Maybe your character thinks they have the most beautiful smile in the world, huh? You got to see that. Or maybe they hate their smile with a passion and they hate you right now, so they want you to suffer the way that they've suffered every time they've seen themselves in the mirror. You know, you have all of these different ways to get in front of your insecurity, to own it, show it who's boss, and then have that amazing session. This next part is all about using the senses to evoke that feeling that's going to come across in your photo. Prepare the way that you would for a role, the way that you would for your shot. It seems simple, but I can't tell you the number of times this has been forgotten, right? Because I'd never go on set. I'd never go on set and expect the director to do all of the work for me. I would have already done some of my sensory work to get in touch with the character. I would have had all of these things at my disposal, but for some reason, going to take a photo, because it's still, you think, I'll just look and smile. No. We can do more than that. So why would you want to get your senses involved for a headshot session? Because it helps you tell the story. When your senses are activated, all of that comes across on your face, right? We get a certain kind of smile from you. We get a certain look in your eyes. We get the thought. So having your senses do that work for you is such a great tool. And it's important. If you're focusing on your senses, guess what you're not focusing on? Your insecurity. Let's start with sound. Sound is actually one that we do normally think of, because a lot of times there will be music playing, or you can bring your own soundtrack, something that gets you in the mood, gets you in the zone for the energy of the character, the energy of the shot. In between shots, you know, you can kind of like dance to the music, you can have some fun, you can make yourself not be stiff, because this is your time for a headshot, it's not your time to be a mannequin. We don't need that impression right now. But another thing is you can actually pick monologues that work with the character. Like if you're playing a lawyer and you have that lawyer from the TV show that you would love that role, learn that monologue. Say those lines in your head, maybe say them out loud. Have a script for yourself so that you're either saying it in your mind and we see that thought activating in your eyes, or you can throw out a line in between certain takes or as you're preparing to get into that look. The other thing about sound is, what are you reacting to? Are there birds in the background? Do you hear the train passing by? What is it in the scene that you react to that also can help to feed your body and help to feed your expression? And here's one. What's the sound that's coming out of the camera? So you're in relationship to the camera, right? You're in relationship to the photographer, in relationship to the camera, in relationship to your eye line if you're looking off screen. What's the sound that's coming from there? React to it. Is it a sound that you love or a sound that you hate? There's so much that you can do with sound alone. Sight. What is it that you're looking at? What's your surrounding? Is it supposed to be a sunny day? Is it supposed to be raining? Is it supposed to be dark? And again, in relation to the camera, who is it that's on the other side? Yes, it's your photographer, but use your imagination. Find yourself your scene partners. If you're looking at your new baby niece, or your lover, or your mom, or your boss, or the defendant, or Santa Claus, or anybody, whoever is on the other side of that camera, you're going to have a different relationship to them. It's going to have an effect on your essence. Touch. When we're experiencing a texture, it does affect our body if we let it. So if you have a smooth rock, or you like crystals, or if you have on a ring, if you have a switchblade, don't bring the switchblade. But if you're playing a character and the character's supposed to be dangerous, and you just feel something hard in your hand, or imagine that feeling, what does it do to your body? With touch as well. If you're supposed to be a warm character or a hard character, if you imagine yourself as that thing, as that inanimate object, what does that do to your body? So play with those tactile experiences. And shoes. Oh my goodness, do I love to make a character from the floor up. Bring different shoes to your session. If you're wearing heels, if you're wearing flats, or if it's a session in which you can be barefoot, play around with the sensations that you feel from your feet and allow yourself to be grounded from the bottom up all the way through the lens, right? Really let yourself feel that. Taste. Do you want a donut? Do you want a nice salad? Do you want like a nice thing of steak? What are you actually craving on this day? What is it that you're craving? Imagine that, and imagine it's on the other side of the camera just looking at it, and it's going to do something to you. You can even have, that donut out for you on the table, and just know that it's there, and know that when you're done with the session, you're going to get to enjoy it. So give yourself that sensory experience and see what happens. Smell. Nothing takes us back in time quite like smell does. So have some of your favorite scents to bring with you on your shoot date. Of course, you want to be considerate to your photographer, as many people do have allergies, and you don't want to leave the room smelling a certain way, no matter how amazing it is. Open a candle, don't light it, smell it, and get yourself in the zone of where it is that you need to be. You can do that. You can also get some of your favorite perfumes of cologne, spray it on a little bit of paper, put it on a Ziploc bag, get a little smell of that during the session if you need the boost or you need that change. Coffee beans, aromatherapy, get one of your little bottles of lavender or spearmint, smell that freshly cut grass. Just do whatever you can to help yourself and help your body to be present, to feel something so that the camera picks it up and we feel something too. Another tip to physically prepare before your headshot session is to get yourself just feeling good, right? Do some yoga, refrain from alcohol and sugar, make sure you get enough sleep. Just make sure that you're feeling physically good and physically ready, and put some time into taking care of your body, feeling your best so that you can show up and do your best. Use your senses to help yourself stay present and be able to actually experience something so that the camera picks it up and it comes across in your shot. And not only do we get a story, we get the essence of who you are. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, share. Let me know what tip really helped you out in the comments below, or if you have questions, I'm happy to answer your questions. You can also check out my Beyond Technique podcast with me, Samantha Rund. Check out the episode with headshot photographer Joanna DeGeneres. It was really awesome talking with her, and you may get some other amazing tips from her as well. And if you're looking for a coach to help you use performance skills to get connected in voice, body, and mind so you can bring more of your whole self to life and work, you can always reach me at beyondtechniquecoaching@gmail.com. I'm happy to help however I can. Thank you so much. Stay safe and stay healthy.